Did you know that there's a traditional Japanese food that's been quietly protecting hearts for over 1,000 years, and modern science is only now confirming what Japanese grandmothers have known all along? I'm Dr. Fergal Armstrong, and today on MedHeads we're diving into Natokinase, a remarkable enzyme that's been called a biological drain cleaner for your cardiovascular system. And that description, it's more accurate than you might think. Now, Natokinase comes from natto, that sticky, stringy, fermented soybean dish that's a breakfast staple in Japan. And I'll be honest, for those of us raised on Vegemite, the texture takes some getting used to. But here's where it gets fascinating. This enzyme is a serine protease, a protein-cutting enzyme that has remarkable fibrinolytic activity. That means it directly breaks down fibrin, the primary protein responsible for blood clot formation. Research published in the journal Biomarker Insights showed that natokinase is approximately 4 times more potent than plasmin, your body's own clot-dissolving enzyme, at breaking down thrombi. 4 times. That's not a marginal improvement, that's a significant therapeutic advantage. And unlike pharmaceutical thrombolytics, natokinase appears to work through multiple pathways. It directly degrades fibrin, converts pro-urokinase to active urokinase, and even degrades plasminogen activator inhibitor. But natokinase isn't just a clot buster. Multiple randomized control trials have now demonstrated significant blood pressure reductions with daily supplementation. A 2023 systematic review and meta-analysis of these trials found average reductions of 3.45 millimeters of mercury systolic and 2.32 millimeters of mercury diastolic. Now, I know what you're thinking, that sounds modest. But here's the clinical reality. Population-wide, even small reductions in blood pressure translate to significant reductions in stroke and heart disease mortality. The mechanism appears to involve ACE inhibition, yes, similar to medications like lisinopril, along with reduction in plasma renin activity. A landmark Korean study showed net changes of minus 5.5 millimeters of mercury systolic and minus 2.84 millimeters of mercury diastolic after just 8 weeks of supplementation at 2,000 fibrinolytic units daily. That's clinically meaningful, particularly for people with pre-hypertension or early stage hypertension who want to explore lifestyle interventions before committing to medication. Here's something that particularly caught my attention. A North American clinical trial, importantly the first conducted outside of Asia, in a Western population, found that natokinase consumption was associated with reduced levels of von Willebrand's factor. Now, if you're not familiar with von Willebrand's factor, it's a critical marker for cardiovascular risk, particularly stroke risk. It's involved in platelet adhesion and clot formation, and elevated levels are associated with increased cardiovascular events, especially in women. A 2024 randomized trial combining natokinase with red yeast rice in patients with stable coronary artery disease showed significant improvements in multiple cardiovascular markers, including anticoagulation parameters. The research is building a compelling picture of a compound with multi-target cardiovascular benefits. So what does this mean practically? If you're someone concerned about cardiovascular health, perhaps you've got borderline and blood pressure readings or a family history of heart disease, natokinase might be worth discussing with your healthcare provider. The standard therapeutic dose in most studies is 2,000 fibrinolytic units daily, though some research has used up to 4,000 fibrinolytic units daily for more pronounced effects. However, and this is crucial, if you are already on blood thinners like warfarin, aspirin, or other anticoagulants, you need to exercise real caution here. Natokinase's blood-thinning properties could potentiate these medications, increasing bleeding risk. This isn't something to self-prescribe without professional guidance. Natokinase represents an elegant example of a traditional food wisdom validated by modern science. A natural compound that works on multiple cardiovascular pathways simultaneously. In our next episode, we'll explore natokinase's effects beyond the heart, including some surprising neurological benefits. Until then, I'm Dr. Fergal Armstrong. Stay curious, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time on MedHeads.